Hey guys, I felt that this is probably just easier done in a video than trying to text it. But basically, I went into Huddle, downloaded all the data up to date, and just kind of ran this. But at the end of the day, points per possession is what we want to be looking at, right? In the context of a game. In terms of shooting twos, I only listed the guys that are getting main minutes, primary minutes, just to reduce the noise. In terms of twos, points per possession, these guys are getting, our greens are our best guys in terms of two point field goals and points per possession on it, and we basically want to make sure that these guys are in the green are the guys that are taking the most shots. So field goal attempts 8, 10, Dalton, Matt 4, Drew 6.5, and it kind of tracks a little bit. 0.99. This is hot. This is good. 8. Luca could get a few more shots because he's pretty high up there. So getting him more twos. Dalton is great. He's up there 1.1, and he's getting 10 2-point field goals. So this tracks pretty well. There are some caveats with this data. It includes games that we play weak teams, which of course is going to increase your average up. So truthfully, it's the teams that are difficult what these numbers look like, but I didn't get into that. So we scroll, and I'll do a comparison of all of them after. But so then we get into the threes, 3-point shots and points per possession on that. And again, our highest points per possession are these greens: Luca, Matt, Kenny, Dylan. And in that context, Braden's a little bit below there. He's just in the mid. But yeah, ideally these greens, these highest guys, is the guys that should be shooting the most shots in terms of a 3-point land. From the so that would be your Luca should be shooting a little bit more. Your Braden could be shooting a tiny bit less. Matt's on track there. I think Dylan should be shooting more, and then Zach's shooting about 2.7, and his points per possession is on the lower end, so maybe him shooting a tiny bit less threes. But in the context of game, 3 versus 4 and 2.7, it's hard to tell. Then we get into free throws. Dalton's up there. He's got 5 per game. He's in the middle here. There's not much control you have in terms of the free throws, in terms of decision, because a foul's called, it's foul called. But yeah, our greens, our guys that are shooting really well, are the guys that are also relatively if Dalton could increase the free throw percentage, yeah, of course that would help us a lot. If Luca could get to the line a little bit more, that would help us a lot. And then finally, all these numbers being relative to each other with the free throw included. I think there's 2 scenarios. One is with the free throw included of points per possession, that these guys getting to the line, all these greens, and this is kind of skewed because free throws you can't really control. So I guess I don't. As I start talking about that, it's hard for me to explain. But excluding free throws, because we can't control those when they're called. But in the context of the game of twos and threes, we want our highest greens here, points per possession, 1.2. Dylan is our highest points per possession on anything else. Then after that, we want Dalton, so Dylan shooting the free 3 first, Dalton shooting 2 second, Luca up there, Zach up there shooting 2s, Luca shooting 2s, Kenny shooting 3s, Drew shooting 2s, Drew not shooting 3s, right? I know I didn't talk about the Reds here much, but if I go to the 3 here and I look at Drew, where is he? He's at 0.273, and he's getting almost 2 shots per game from the 3-point land. That point possession 0.27, right? Or points, yeah, it's 0.27 versus his points per possession on his 2 is 1 point. He's literally 5 times more effective driving than shooting a 3-point in. In addition to that, he's taking up to almost 2 3-pointers per game, where that could be distributed anywhere else. So having a conversation of shot selection with him on that would be super helpful. So I don't know. Let me know if this makes sense. Let me know if it needs more clarification or anything like that. But this, I mean, at the freshman level, this is like one of the first things we focus on is points per possession and getting to realize what their twos look like versus their threes and where their strong suit is. And then after that, the second part we drill down because our offense, our 20 offense, is based off the dribble. A lot of our boys take threes off the dribble and they're at like 10% off the dribble and like 40% off the catch or something like that, which ends up averaging to 25%. So once we got rid of the off the dribble 3-pointer, our percentage went much higher after that. So let me know if you got questions.